Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode of Kingdoms. It has been a little while, and I'm going to talk about that in today's episode. Today's episode is actually going to be a kind of a talky one. It is going to be a talky one, but we're going to do some building while we talk. I'm going to build another house or two in Regnum here. But I want to jump right into the comment of the day. I totally forgot to do a comment of the day last episode as well, but that's okay. We're going to jump into the comment of the day. We're going to talk about it, and while we're doing it, we're going to be building. So I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Sit back, relax, get a drink, get a snack, and we're going to talk about some things. So the comment is from Diamond Dude. This was actually a comment left on the first episode of Gang Z Craft, and it said, please do more Hermitcraft. You're spread too thin over Quantus, Kingdoms, Hermitcraft, and now this. Now there is almost no Kingdoms, some Hermitcraft, and a bit of these new modded series. Pick what you really want to do and do that. So, this was a comment from Diamond Dude, but this was, I've gotten similar comments, on all of my videos from many, many people. So this wasn't just Diamond Dude saying this, and that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it today in Kingdoms. The idea being that, either I have too many series, or please upload more Hermitcraft, please upload more Kingdoms. We miss this, you're doing too many things, all that kind of stuff. So I kind of want to talk about that. And specifically, I want to talk about the idea of creative burnout. Now, what I do in Minecraft, I wouldn't say that Minecraft is necessarily, well, and let me rephrase this. I wouldn't say that being a Minecraft YouTuber is always a creative profession. You know, if you were, say, a PvP, Minecraft PvP, or Minecraft minigames sort of YouTuber, then it's not so much a creative profession. It's a profession in which you play minigames or you do PvP, and you don't really have to think and plan and come up with ideas. You just have to, have fun and make good videos. Whereas with what I do, or for that matter, if you're a redstone or a technical Minecraft or whatever, there's a lot of creativity involved and coming up with ideas and all that kind of stuff. And I have to confess, I'm a little bit, I'm in the middle of a little bit of a creative slump right now. That happens. And this isn't the first time that it's happened, and I'm sure it won't be the last time that it happens. But right now, in vanilla, I'm really kind of struggling for ideas and for things to do. I can't tell you how many times I've logged into Kingdoms, or for that matter, logged into Hermitcraft, and just kind of looked around the world and flown around the world a little bit on my Elytra, and looked around the world a little bit more, and after a couple hours of doing that, logged out in frustration and played modded instead. And that happens. It's one of those things. If you think about it, I've been doing basically daily videos now for 2.5 years, almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years in September. And almost every single one of those videos is a new build, a new idea. And, creativity comes in waves, right? There are times when you feel incredibly inspired and you're like, man, I could just do all the things. And then that passes after a while, and you hit a point where you're like, man, I have no idea what I want to do. And part of the issue for me is that, I know things that I want to do that need to get done, but those things aren't necessarily things that make for good videos. For example, Regnum, right? We've got to build a whole bunch of buildings that are in this style. But we've already built a whole bunch of the buildings in this style, and to be fair, that's what I'm doing in today's episode, although this is also a talky episode, so I think it kind of makes up for it, sort of. And it's just one of those things where, just because something is something that I enjoy and that I think is, fun, doesn't necessarily mean that it'll make a good video, because there are people who say, you've already done this. I can't believe you're doing this again. This is getting very repetitive. And they're not wrong. That's an absolutely valid criticism. I can understand not wanting to watch basically a variation of the same video over and over and over again. That totally makes sense. And kind of as a result, I admit I'm feeling a little bit burned out on vanilla right now. and specifically with, I'm just having kind of a creative slump, and as a result, Kingdoms and Hermitcraft have slowed down a little bit, and I'm sure you guys have noticed that. And you know what? That's okay. That happens. It's, as I said before, it's not the first time that this has happened since I started YouTube, and I'm sure it won't be the last. It comes and goes. Sometimes you're very inspired, sometimes you're not. And I do want to reassure you guys that my creativity will return. My ideas will come back at some point. I will feel very inspired again. And, you know, when that happens, we'll be back to a lot more Hermitcraft and a lot more Kingdoms. But I don't necessarily want to force those episodes out. To an extent, I kind of already do. I kind of do this thing where, you know, I try to come up with an idea and make it work. And sometimes, you know, if it's been a really long time since something happened, I look for something that's a small project or something that's, you know, a little bit different, or I do a talkie episode. I mean, this video is a perfect example. I'm doing a talkie episode because I'm running low on ideas right now for vanilla. And it's just one of those things, you know, it comes and it goes. It'll pass. It'll pass. At some point, I'll see something and I'll get very inspired by something, and I'll, you know, be back to vanilla in full force. This has happened many times over the almost 3 years that I've been on YouTube. This isn't me saying I'm burned out on vanilla and I'm never coming back. That's not me. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is I'm a little burned out on vanilla right now. Please be patient with me until my inspiration returns. Now, as for the idea that I'm spread too thin, that I've got 4 Minecraft series going right now. I've got Kingdoms, I've got Hermitcraft, and then I have Qantas and Gang Z-Craft, which are both modded series. I want to address that as well, because I don't think I am spread too thin. If you look back over the history of my channel, 4 series at once is actually not that many in comparison to what I've done in the past. There have been times in the past when I think I was running 8 Minecraft series at once. And it really, when it just comes down to time management. Like, if you're feeling very inspired to do a lot of different things at once, it's actually pretty easy to have that many Minecraft series all at once. It's not that big of a deal. If you're not, and you're forcing it, that's a little bit different as well. Now, the other thing, too, is that I do have a second channel now, which is not entirely family-friendly. It's mostly family-friendly. Basically, the only thing that's not family-friendly about my second channel is the games that I play on that channel. It's basically a channel for either games that aren't family-friendly or games that just really wouldn't fit on this channel. And that video, that one is doing... I'm doing 2 videos a day over on that channel. And one thing that I have received some comments about and had people express some concerns about is that that channel is taking away from my main channel. And I just want to say that that's not the case. Basically, the way that I do videos on the second channel is I pick a day and I backlog like 10 videos at once. I do, you know, 5 Binding of Isaac episodes or 5 RimWorld episodes all at once, and I get them all done, and, you know, that's basically it. And then I just, you know, edit them when I'm sleeping, or I let them render, you know, before they come out when I'm sleeping, and, you know, it really doesn't take a whole lot of time out of my schedule other than the actual time that I spend recording them on whatever day of the week that is. But the biggest problem I run into time-wise is just like logging into Kingdoms, for example, and just kind of putzing around for a while, trying to think of an idea, and then finally just logging out because I give up. And that's kind of a frustrating thing. Not the idea that people are thinking the second channel is taking away from the main channel, because that's a completely reasonable assumption to make, although it is incorrect. Just the act of logging in, staring at the screen, and logging back out. It's very frustrating to do that, to kind of go through that. And I'm sure that some of you who have played, well, honestly, any game that you really enjoy, I'm sure you've had that happen, where you've, you know, kind of started to lose interest with the game, and you like try to play it, and then you just can't bring yourself to do it. You know, that's just one of those things that happens. And it's not that I'm losing my love for Minecraft whatsoever. I'm actually having an awesome time right now with modded Minecraft. It's just one of those things where, you know, I'm just not feeling vanilla right now. I'm just really kind of struggling on the vanilla side of things, and as a result, you know, Hermitcraft Kingdoms have suffered a little bit as far as releasing them. But as I said before, it's only a temporary thing. It'll pass. Just give it a little while. We'll be fine. Now, wait a minute. Is this right? Okay, I see. Yeah. This needs to go here, right? Yes. And then this goes up. That goes there, right? Yeah. Okay, got it. So just, I guess my point is, I understand those of you that are frustrated with the situation, with the fact that there's not a whole lot of Hermitcraft coming out right now and not a whole lot of Kingdoms coming out right now. You know, sometimes there's, I think the last Kingdoms episode came out maybe even over a week ago at this point. You know, and I understand that. I understand your frustrations, but you got to realize that I'm trying my best, and some things you just can't force it. I've always been of the opinion that on YouTube you should, for the most part, play whatever you want to play. But if you're not enjoying it, like don't force it. Don't you know? I think you can tell when you watch a video from someone and they're not actually enjoying themselves. I think that's something that really kind of makes itself obvious, and I think it really kind of harms the content. Why is this all derpy? Because this is supposed to go back one. That's why. Okay. Easy fix. No big deal. Piece of cake. And I think it makes for bad videos. You know, if you're watching videos from someone who's trying to force themselves to be happy, to seem like they're enjoying themselves, I don't think that's a good thing. I think it comes through in the videos, and you can tell, and it just kind of ruins it for everybody. And I think in situations where you're feeling a little burned out, it's best to just kind of step back and take a little break and you know, kind of let those creative juices recharge, so to speak. You know, and creative professions are kind of a unique one in that way. Like, if you're working like a trade profession or a non-technical profession, you don't have to necessarily be imaginative every single day. You know, if for example, I used to work customer service for a communications company. I was that guy that said, you know, "Thank you for calling company. My name's Welsknight. How can I help you today?" I was that guy. I was one of those people. There was no real creativity required in my job. I mean, sure, there was problem solving and stuff like that, but I didn't have to like come up with a new idea every day of what I was going to do. I just had to show up to work and handle the problems that were sent to me, you know? Whereas with a creative profession like what I do now, I have to come up with ideas. I have to constantly be coming up with new ideas. And honestly, that's one of the things that I love about my job is the fact that I have to be creative. I get to exercise that kind of creative part of my mind, which I think is awesome. But at the same time, you know, you can only come up with so many ideas before you start to run out for a little while. You know, try and sit down sometime and just brainstorm, right? Try and brainstorm ideas for, I don't know, a movie script, and see how many of them you can come up with before you run out. And the answer is probably not an infinite amount of ideas. It's probably a lot. You could probably think up all sorts of stuff, but you'll probably run out of ideas at some point. And at that point, you kind of hit this wall. It's the idea of writer's block, right? You know, if you're a writer, you hit this point where you're like, man, I don't know what to write about. Or if you're a painter, you know, you can't think of what to paint or whatever. It's that same kind of basic principle. And it's true as a Minecraft YouTuber. You know, you hit this point where your creativity is running a little bit low. I think BOO has said on Hermitcraft that he's kind of going through the same thing a little bit right now, where he's just kind of struggling to come up with ideas on Hermitcraft. And like, I can totally relate to that. You know, it's one of those things that people go through, especially builders in Minecraft, especially builders, because I think there's a lot more creativity involved. Well, yes and no. Like, I think there are more, and I may just be saying this because I'm not a technical YouTuber or a technical Minecraft player, but I think there's a bit more creativity involved with being a builder, whereas there's a bit more problem solving involved with being like a redstoner. That's not to say that people who are redstoners are not creative, because they are, for sure. Like, absolutely, they're incredibly creative. But I think, like, there's more problem solving when it comes to coming up with unique redstone ideas, and less, like, design, if that makes sense. I don't think I'm articulating my point very well. I think there's probably going to be some people who misunderstand what I'm saying. And you're like, don't be hating on redstoners like that, because I'm not at all. I have a lot of respect for redstoners. I think they do incredible things that to me aren't basically magic. But I think, like, building for the most part is just pure creativity. And there's some problem solving in a couple minor ways, like, how do I make this roof work, right? But for the most part, it's just pure creative, right? That's basically all it is, just pure creativity, nothing more. Whereas redstone is kind of coming up with an initial concept, but then, which is certainly creative, but then you essentially problem solve using a predefined set of rules, i.e. redstone, or, you know, the mechanics of Minecraft in general, to make your idea into a reality. I think that's maybe a better way of explaining it than saying building is more creative than redstone. I think I don't know. I'm going to stop digging myself a hole, because I think I have done an adequate job at this point of digging myself a pretty nice hole, and angering, like, the entire technical community. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm overreacting. But point is, I'm going through a slump right now. I'm going through a creative slump. These things happen. And it's not the first time, and it won't be the last time, but we'll work through it. It might take a little while, might take a couple weeks, might take a couple days, who knows? Who knows? Maybe by the time this video goes up, I'll have seen something that will trigger something in my brain, and suddenly I'll be feeling incredibly inspired again. That's how quickly it can change. You know, it's like a light switch. You turn it on and you turn it off. Unfortunately, it's just a light switch that you have no control over. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, you know, but in the meantime, I have modded series. I have Qantas. I have Gang Zcraft. The goal, the ideal situation would be for me to have one vanilla video and one modded video coming out every single day. But as I said before, I don't want to force it. If I'm not feeling vanilla, I don't want to force myself to play vanilla, whether I want to or not. So I'm just going to kind of keep doing what I do. As I come up with ideas, I'll make videos, and if I can't come up with a good idea, then I'm not going to push too hard to make that happen. But it's only a temporary thing. It's always only a temporary thing. This has happened. Man, this might be like the 10th time since I started YouTube that I've gone into a relatively large creative slump. I can think of a couple times. And often what I do is I start a new kingdom, or I start a new series, but I really kind of want to finish Regnum before we start another new kingdom. And Solus needs some work as well. I just want to see, how much do we actually have left of Regnum? We got a house over here now. Then we're going to have shops here, and here, and probably here. A lot of these are going to be shops going around here. We need to finish the market district. But as I said before, a lot of this stuff is stuff that I want to do either on streams or off camera because I feel like we've already done it. You know, we've already built the market stalls. Do we really want another episode of me just building market stalls for hours? I don't know. It's one of those things. And I don't like the idea of quality over quantity. Or for that matter, I don't like the idea of quantity over quality. I think it's important to have a balance of the two, which I know I've talked about in the past. But I think it's one of those things where, sometimes I feel obligated. There's a certain pressure when you're a YouTuber. There's a certain pressure that you have to put out videos. Because, you know, your audience expects that. And to be honest, you know, your audience deserves that. Like, as YouTubers, we make videos for you guys. That's why we do it. And, you know, you guys watch our videos because you expect good content. You expect something you're going to enjoy. And there's a pressure to get those videos out there and make videos. I mean, just look at any YouTuber's comment section if they haven't uploaded a video of a series for a week. Where is this series? Where is this? Why did you cancel this series? You know, you get, excuse me, you get all these people who are like, why? What happened to this? What happened to that? You know, yeah, I still get comments. Where is Couplecraft? You know, where is Passepartout? Where is this? Where is that? And those people, the reason they do that is because they enjoy those series and they want to see them again. And there is a certain level of pressure to get those videos out because as a YouTuber, there is without a doubt an expectation that you're going to produce videos. And when your brain isn't agreeing with you and isn't giving you ideas with which to turn into videos, it can be a really frustrating thing, you know, for everybody, not just for the YouTuber, but for their audience as well, because you guys want to see Hermitcraft, you guys want to see Kingdoms, and my brain is saying, nah, but I don't know what to do in Kingdoms, I don't know what to do in Hermitcraft. Let's figure out where we're going to build the next house while I'm babbling on. And it's just one of those things where, like, I don't know. You know, what can you do? I can't force my brain to come up with ideas. I've tried. You know, I do have an idea book. It's empty at this point. You know, I don't know. I'm out. I feel like my brain has hung me out to dry. But it'll pass. And that's really the big takeaway. I mean, I don't want to ramble on forever because I probably could. But I just want to make it clear that even if Kingdoms or even if Hermitcraft don't come out for a while, you know, even if there's not a Hermitcraft episode for a week or a Kingdoms episode for a week, or even if it's like 2 weeks, you know, those series are never going away. I intend to do Kingdoms as my single player vanilla series for as long as I have a YouTube channel. And I intend to be a proud member of Hermitcraft for as long as I have a YouTube channel. Those things are not things that I want to change. Not now or not ever. So even if those videos don't pop up in your subscription feed, you know, well, first of all, if you're not seeing those videos in your subscription feed, first check to make sure that you're actually subscribed to my channel, because YouTube unsubscribes people, it seems. And then make sure you've actually rang the little notification bell, because even when you are subscribed, now you need to, like, double subscribe to YouTubers so that you actually get Anyway. Sorry, that was a little bit of YouTube humor. But the point is, if you're not seeing Hermitcraft and if you're not seeing Kingdoms, don't worry too much. They may be gone, they may be on a little hold for a little while I think up ideas, or maybe they're on hold because I've got a big project that I'm working on that's taking me longer than I anticipated or whatever, but those series are never truly going away. Everything else, you know, Qantas will last until it's over. Gang Z-Craft will last until it's over. But Kingdoms and Hermitcraft are special. They're really kind of like, in many ways, who I am as a Minecraft YouTuber. You know, Hermitcraft, I'm a member of Hermitcraft. I'm one of the few, one of the proud Hermitcraft members. There are people out there who would kill to be on Hermitcraft. You know, and I'm extremely proud of that, and I have no desire whatsoever to give that up, ever, now or ever. Likewise, you know, Kingdoms is the story of me as a builder. You know, Kingdoms is the single player world that I've been playing in now for, I would say I started Kingdoms right around the time that I would have started to consider myself a decent builder. I'd say everything that I built before that, I was still very much learning how to be a passable builder. And I still wouldn't say that I'm a great builder. There are certainly many people out there in the Minecraft community who are better builders than I am. This is not a good shape. I need to change this a bit. There are certainly people out there in the Minecraft community who are infinitely better builders than me. I mean, I could name 5 of them on YouTube just off the top of my head. But I think at this point, I'm an okay builder. I'm a builder that if you watch me, you might learn something. Let's explain it that way. There's the possibility that you'll get an idea or get a new trick or something like that. And the start of Kingdoms was kind of the point where I think I hit that level, you know, where I started to become a builder and really kind of consider myself a builder. And over the course of Kingdoms, the builds have gotten better and bigger and more impressive, and you know, and Kingdoms is in many ways a story. If you look at the early stuff versus the stuff now, you'll see how I've developed as a builder and as a content creator. And I think for that alone is one reason that it's very special to me. The other thing, you know, I'm at, I don't know how many hours that is, 22.9 days. I don't know how many hours that is, but I haven't done that much AFKing in this world. Let's put it that way. Most of that is actual playtime. I think I did a little bit of AFK fishing at the start to get mending books, and I think I AFK'd maybe once at that mob farm and once at my squid farm. That's about it. I really don't AFK a whole lot in this world. So 22 days times 24 hours, that's how many hours I have in this world. That's quite a ways. And that's, I mean, we're on 136 episodes, something like that. I mean, we've been working on this world for quite some time, and I have no desire to give that up either. So my point is, don't worry. Kingdoms, Hermitcraft, they're not going anywhere. I'm just going through a little bit of a rough patch right now creatively, trying to come up with awesome ideas that are worth sharing with you guys, and that will pass. It always does. It always will. This is neither the first time nor the last that I've hit builder's block, and I'm sure it will only last for a while. And you know, maybe in the past it usually lasts a couple weeks, something like that. Maybe a month, and then suddenly I see something on the internet or on YouTube, or somebody leaves a comment suggesting something, or whatever it may be, and suddenly I feel incredibly inspired again, and I'm like, oh, I know exactly what I want to do, and then that starts the process, and you know, you just keep going, and you suddenly there you are, another 136 episodes later, or whatever. But anyway, guys, I think I have rambled on about this quite long enough. I'm going to go ahead and call this episode right here. If you have ideas of things for Kingdoms or Hermitcraft, either one, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to get some feedback from you guys and some suggestions. I'm very much in need of good ideas right now. Likewise, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Links in the description, so check those out as well. There's also a link there to the second channel if you haven't taken a look at that yet. As I said, the channel for the most part is family friendly. The only thing about it that isn't is the games that I play on that channel, or also I play games that just wouldn't make sense on this channel, like RimWorld, for example. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.